Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Hope you are all having as peaceful of a day as you are able to allow yourself to have. Today has been quite a journey in exploring and noticing my relationship with perfectionism. You see, I've spent most of the day attempting to create a setup that would allow me to do some things that I've never done or tried before. And even after several attempts, it just didn't seem to be what was meant to be. And that's okay, because there's always alternatives, and it's important to recognize when perhaps the path or direction you're heading in is met with tremendous resistance. I was having a conversation with a colleague about our relationship to flow, and many times we push, and sometimes we're going against the current. And so today has been a wonderful opportunity for me to be in my own container, my own cauldron, if you will, of where I am in my relationship with that aspect of myself. And so, welcome to this evening's sound journey. It will certainly be unlike any sound journey I have ever created or offered. When I wrote in the description that it took me over a week to even create the event, let alone create the wording for the event, it's true. This has been feeling to me like I was about to surf the biggest wave in the world and have only been on a surfboard for a week. I think back to all the sound meditations that I've done, and it's such for the most part, easy thing to move into. And this one has been fascinatingly challenging me and stretching me, as my coach says. Those that know me personally know that I'm a human furnace. I run 1,000 degrees all the time, and my hands are like ice at the moment. So clearly there's a lot of charge, a lot of emotion around not just the sound journey we're going to experience, but the state that each of us is in, the state that each of us is contributing to and participating with our thoughts, our words, and our actions. So, one of the things that I noticed was that I wasn't told to create a specific endpoint for tonight's sound journey, which is unique. I do my best to honor and recognize, the starting time and the ending time, to be respectful of people's schedules. And sometimes I may go over, but I usually tend to stay within those parameters. But I wasn't allowed to, for lack of better words, have a structured end time to this, which is very fitting because I feel that structure is a big part of what's coming apart for so many of us. When we look at everything that's happening globally, in this country, in your neighborhood, in your home, in yourself, we are witnessing and we are recognizing the collapse, or another word that I prefer to use rather is the completion of cycles. And oftentimes when things feel like they are coming apart at the seams, when you're in that current, when you're holding that charge and basically stuck in that force, that torsion, it's very difficult to recognize and notice that there's an opportunity that is presenting itself for you. And this goes to things that we've talked about before in our sound meditations of viewing life as happening to you versus viewing life as happening for you. There's a huge difference. And I catch myself constantly noticing when I'm participating in the language of life happening to me. And what does that feel like when you use that language? It doesn't feel great usually. It feels uncomfortable. It feels you have no choice. You had no say in the matter. When you see life as happening for you instead, it invites this opportunity to be in this dance with life, be in this exchange with the experiences and circumstances and all situations which are presented for you as an opportunity for you to remember who you are. So tonight's sound journey will be filled with a lot of different things that I've never done or tried before but have been curious about. Including the setup. Some of you probably noticing that I'm not sitting in my usual space, and that's because I wanted to get a little bit up close and personal this evening. I think there's something about that connection when we can see into someone else's eyes. So I'm going to do my best to look into each and every one of your eyes this evening as I offer the messages, the sounds, as well as the silence. Tonight's sound journey, in its name, Sounds and Silence, is intentional to invite each of us to connect with sounds that have the purpose and the ability to elevate and sublimate our state of being, as well as to connect with silence. I've said before, and I'll say it again, the quieter we become, the more we can hear. The quieter we become, the more we can hear. And so this evening, we will be doing a lot of work around the heart. And the reason I bring this up as our kind of compass for the evening has to do with the relationship that the heart has with singularity or unity consciousness. If we take a moment and notice our relationship to everything that we're witnessing outside of us, for a moment recognize the natural polarity, the natural duality of how we are observing our observations. Every sense in your body, as it's governed and processed and perceived through the central nervous system, sees things in this polarity state. The contrast created helps you understand where you are at any moment. When we look at the heart and the energetics of the heart, we connect instead to the experience of unity, of singularity. In other words, consider the heart as having a neutral charge, a net charge of 0. All possibilities exist, and it's undifferentiated potential, and that's a powerful place to be. It's similar to the eye of the storm. All that energy exists in the outer border, but as we move into the center point, we can access a state of neutrality. And it's in that state of neutrality where we have access to new reality. So, we're going to begin with a piece that I wrote yesterday. I didn't share it with anybody. I had a conversation with my coach during the day. His name is Lonnie Robinson. He might be watching at the moment. Hey, Lonnie. And Lonnie, who's black, was sharing with me, his experiences in America as a black man, as a father, as a son. And there was one thing he said in our amazing conversation which really stuck with me. And it was a message that I asked him if I could share with other people because I think it's important other people connect with this. He said, absolutely. So Lonnie was saying, you know, Carlos, I mean this from the bottom of my heart that no matter how I've been treated, no matter the ways that I have been impacted by the lack of equality, I love everyone. It's easy for me to love people, he said, because I always see the good in people. And he said that. I started writing it down. I'm like, Lonnie, it's easy for me to love people because I see the good in people. So we're going to expand on that and connect with that with self first. In other words, it's very easy to think of things we may not like, things that agitate us, things that frustrate us. I mean, let's look at what's happening right now. We're on fire. We are living in some inflammatory times. And perhaps that is a necessary vehicle for change and transformation to occur. In fact, the element of fire is about transformation. Yet there is an aspect of hate which moves us away from unity connection. And I want to start first with self this evening. And think for a moment the way that we, because there is no I, there's no you, there's only we. Think of the ways that we communicate to ourselves, the things we say to ourselves. And what place are those words and those thoughts coming from? That inner critic. How friendly is your inner critic with you? I know mine can sometimes be like Mike Tyson, and I'm out in 15 seconds. But other times, I'm more like Mike Tyson. And we're going to listen to a piece that I wrote that was inspired to come out, if you will, after my conversation with Lonnie. There was a lot of emotion. There was a lot of moments of just witnessing each other and just seeing each other for who we were as individuals, as people, and as a collective. It was beautiful, really was. And so this piece is unnamed at the moment, and I am hopeful that each of you are able to hear it. Please make sure you're wearing headphones if you haven't already. And I'll be playing this piece through my recording space, which is different than how the current meditation is being broadcast. And I'm going to notice what shows up. I left a certain part of the song open if I felt like playing along with it, chanting with it, playing tuning forks with it, etc. But before we even move into that, we need to do some hygiene. You know, I talk about this with my clients about what are we doing to kind of, pardon the language, clear our shit. Clean the pipes, flush the system, and help move the debris that accumulates when we don't take time to do our part to cleanse and purify, you know, the body, the mind, the energetic body, etc. There's a lot of different ways we can go about it. And I'm going to approach it through the medicine wheel, through the elements. And I'm actually going to begin with fire. So I have with me some sage. And as I light this sage, I'm going to take a moment, and I invite each of you as well to take a moment and connect with the element of fire. Fire is an element within each and every one of us that connects us to our dreams, our visions, our passions. Fire is an element that connects us with our ancestors, with other realms. It's the element of transformation. And when we tend to our fire and take care of our fire, we prevent the experiences or minimize the experiences of overconsumption, combustion, and depletion. So I'm offering this sage to each and every one of you right now through the intention of offering each of you the blessing of sage to help restore and balance your fire so that you can be in a place of purpose and passion, but with a fire that is warming, gentle, and nourishing. So I'll be making these offerings into this bowl here. I'm going to offer Ancestor Ash to invite a healthy, functional relationship with our ancestors. If we think for a moment about the experiences that we are in right now and how they parallel what ancestors have experienced in their own way, not in the specific way, but in terms of the theme of the feeling of oppression, whether you were the oppressor or the oppressed, or you observed oppression, pandemic, fear, grief, anger, sadness, despair, feeling disconnected, feeling lost. In one way, this may be a new thing that we're experiencing, but in other ways, this is an echo. We are in the ripple effect of an echo that began long before us, and the story dwells within us. And we have this opportunity in this lifetime to repeat or repair those experiences and how we respond to them. And so we ask the ancestors to guide us and assist us in helping to reset that karma, to repair, to release, to restore, and to make the changes and shifts that could not happen until now. As I offer sea salt to connect with the element of water, to purify, to reconcile, to assist us in cleansing the grief of all that many feel is being lost right now. I've seen a lot of messages about people that have lost their pets, family members, friends, their homes, their jobs, their security. Many people losing their trust, their faith, their hope. People losing their mind, their patience. And we connect with water to help cleanse and move from that deep water to surface water, where we can be in flow, be in grace, and invite true peace, not conditional peace, but peace that exists first within and then allows us to expand that peace and move it beyond the self. And last but not least, I offer cornmeal to the element of earth, symbolic of earth, to remind each and every one of us of our relationship to being nurtured, nourished, and supported. And may we make choices that help to nurture, nourish, and support us, to not give from a wound, but to raise vitality so that we can do what we are here to do. So, with that being said, let's take a moment and just connect with our breathing. Taking a couple nice deep breaths in and letting them out slowly. And wherever you are, in whatever position you're in, take time to create comfort for yourself. And as you're getting more and more comfortable, just acknowledge the gift of breath. Acknowledge the gift of being able to connect to this vital life force energy, to cleanse with the inhale, to nourish and to release and purify with our exhale. And as we hear this piece, I invite each and every one of you to connect to your own heart space. And so as you're connecting to your heart space, you can feel free to rest your hands over the chest and just feel that connection to your heart. And whatever feeling arises, so be it. We don't need to attach, we don't need to judge, we don't need to entangle and analyze. We just have this opportunity to connect. And so as you're breathing in and out, feel that connection and notice what it's like for the body to breathe and expand from the heart. And may the tones and frequencies you hear this evening assist you in releasing whatever pain, grief, sorrow, loneliness, depression, anxiety that you may be feeling. Throughout this piece, you can allow yourself to connect to gratitude for whatever you can allow yourself to be grateful for at this moment. May the walls gently dissolve around the heart. And as these walls begin to dissolve, once again connect to the remembrance of who we are, the remembrance of unity, the remembrance that we are always connected to each other, to all that is. We are one. Yourself permission to gently lower the armor. Giving yourself permission to receive. To receive love. To receive gratitude. And taking these next moments to just notice whatever you notice. Allow yourself to become aware of the body. And notice where in your body you feel comfortable and at ease. Focus on the areas that feel comfortable and breathe into those spaces. And as you breathe into your body, just feel the energy of the area. And with each breath, allow that presence to expand and move beyond, slowly reaching every part of your body. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Taking time to once again connect with a nice deep breath in. And bring the third digit of your left hand and rest it against your belly button. So again, you're taking the third digit of your left hand and placing that finger directly over your belly button. This area is the Hara, H-A-R-A, the ocean of life. And I ask you to bring your awareness now to that area of your body, feeling that gentle connection between that finger and the belly button. And breathe into that space as we create the intention to restore our own connection to the ocean of life, to the natural rhythms and pulses of the universe. Can we allow ourselves to surrender? Can we allow ourselves to trust and be with all that is? And how would it feel if we could once again move in unison with laws of nature, laws of the heavens, and the rhythm of life? Slowly taking time to connect with breath once again. And what I'd like to offer to bring completion to tonight's journey is to conclude once again with that song, but this time our intention and awareness is going to be a little different. So the intention of this song is to invite compassion and kindness to your lives. Compassion and kindness. If you could allow for more kindness and compassion in your life, what would that look like? What would it feel like? What area of your life is ready to receive and connect with the current and the frequencies of kindness and compassion? And may the notes you hear help bring those elements into the areas of your life that are yearning for them. May kindness and compassion be at the origin of your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And may peace always be the journey. And so as you continue on your path, on your journey, remember that everything that we are experiencing, everything occurring, is for purpose, a greater purpose that we are unable to connect to or see when we are still in the charge. So the more you can do to bring yourself to the center point, the more gentle the ride can be, and the more you're able to see things from a place of singularity, from a place of unity consciousness. And I wanted to conclude this evening's journey with reading from an author named L.R. Knost. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go. Love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. Thank you so much for being a part of tonight's journey. I thank each and every one of you for the support, the appreciation, the shares, the likes, the comments. It really means a lot to me. And if you are inclined to share this after it's posted with those that you feel would benefit, please do so. And as always, I'll post the links in the comment threads to help connect you with other sound meditations. And I wish each and every one of you gentleness. We are in a cycle that is epic, to say the least, and all the forces are there as an ally if you connect with them that way. Please feel free to reach out if you need help, if you need support, if you need guidance. I can help you. Peace to each and every one of you. Have a blessed evening, gentle rest of your week. Enjoy the full moon, the lunar eclipse, Father's Day, everything. Blessings. Be well.